The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 15th day of May 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Hospitals, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. He's Larry Marshall Jr. And Teo Dill will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in his news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. It's hump day, Larry.
It's the weekend for me.
Oh, yeah. See, he always got you all. You all think, 2 more days to go, and he's chilling.
Yeah, I feel on the back end, though.
Yeah, and then when you're chilling, he's out there working and doing the thing. How do you usually like to spend days off? Like, is it rest or like? Because I just said on Monday that weekends they're so funny because we always think like the weekends here we're gonna relax, we're gonna chill, we're gonna do some fun things, and then you end up working more. Especially with people with children, than you did during the week, right?
Yeah, so it's like nothing stops. So it's just I have to build and make sure that I have downtime for myself, which is what I'm being intentional about, in particularly this year.
Downtime? What's downtime? Some people are saying.
That's whatever. Like,
seriously, right? Like
rather it's 2 hours on my, I need it. So
nah, for real.
What about other people?
Yeah, well, I hope you get it, big brother. I hope you get it, folks. Greetings, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Terry Fray on. We're going to be discussing the Fray Star Cricket Institute. You know what this takes me back when I was at cricket clinic back in the day. I used to go around Western Stars with Mr. Mendes, and only recent years I found out they don't have them like they used to. I mean, I swear every Bermudian boy had some form of connection, even if they weren't signed up. They might go every now and then, but cricket clinic was where you made relationships, man. Like, I mean, it was a fun thing. So
and even I went summer day camp and we played cricket all day.
Yeah, like it was a thing, right? But I know we've had this conversation on this show before about cricket. It's just it doesn't seem like it's being played like it was when we were young. So I'm excited to hear what they have going on at Fray Star Cricket Institute to get young people back into what I would say is was my favorite sport growing up. And I'll tell you why it was my favorite sport. It had probably as much to do with an all-day affair being around family and friends as it did the actual game, because it was one of those things that brought people together a bit longer than most other things. Like football was obviously my first love, but football was so quick in terms of time. Cricket is just it brings people together for much longer, and that's something I honestly miss about going to cricket games. And I'm thankful that I had family and friends who actually played the game. Notice I didn't say myself, but anyway, I mean,
and I was the same way. The other one that helped me was the West Indies were great, and people that look like me that were so good, like that was a big thing.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's missed. That we're getting right into it, but even like my family going to the test match growing up, like I remember charters of people and like just everyone knew the name Brian Lara. It was a good time. So I'm hopeful. I'm excited. I don't know as much more than I've read about Fray Star Cricket Institute on their social media and so on, but I'm excited that someone is doing something. You also have the Smash tournament going on as well. So this for me is exciting to get people back to loving something that brought our community together. All right, folks, Please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. There's a daily plate today, and I think we hem Larry up when it comes to music. So we've given him. No, we haven't given him an easy one, but if he don't get it, it's on him. It's on him. Yeah, it's music related. Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Wednesday, Jamel, Larry, and Taylor, and an awesome Wednesday to you as well, Suzanne Ingham. We've got some big announcements coming up. We already told you that we'll be doing the 1000th episode live with a live audience. When that happens, we do have a date of when that's going down, so you got to stay tuned to know when that's going down. We also have some really, really incredible announcements around that, so you want to stay tuned to what we have going on. But before we get there, something else is happening today, right? May 15th, it's the return of Harbor Nights. Yeah, the return of Harbor Nights, folks. So, again, I loved Harbor Nights growing up. I remember going with my family used to clean offices around Hamilton. That's how we got additional money back in the day, right? So after I tagged along because they always need a young person to lift the trash and take it to the dump. That was my job as a boy. So after that, my reward was, let's take Jamal down to Front Street, Harbor Night, and get some ice cream on that Wednesday when it first started. And I was a teen. I wasn't like a boy. I was a teen. And I just remember, man, it was back then, it was really just tourists when it first started. There were not locals and so on. There were really tourists. And although it's a different time, I'm excited for it because Bermudians have a tendency to say it's nothing to do in Bermuda. I think that Harbor Nights is an example of if we do something within a certain budget and do it right, we can have other things. So the question of the morning is, what are some Harbor Nights-like events that we should consider throughout the year that could boost Bermuda? What are some Harbor Night-like events? Like, what's something you think that we can hold on a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly basis that can boost Bermuda in terms of economy, in terms of camaraderie? Like what are some things you think that come to mind that you're saying, you know what, that's something that we can do that can boost Bermuda? But before we answer that, because I want to ask Larry, I don't know what he's going to say. Before you answer that, when was the last time you actually experienced Harbor Night?
And this is part of my thing with Harbor Night, right? Mm-hmm. I can't remember, and I would go. I just don't know about it. Like Wednesdays come and go, and like, oh right, it was Harbor Night. And in this day and age, I just feel like I don't watch the news. I don't watch, to advertise. I don't listen to the radio, traditional radio. So how do you get to me? I watch YouTube and social media, and I feel like it's no advertising on those platforms for Harbor Night. And I think that needs to happen to kind of get people there. But to answer your question, I do not recall when's the last time I purposely went to Harbor Night. Did I stumble upon it or something? Maybe years ago, but I still don't remember. But
Larry, I'm with you. I'm with you. I was hoping you wouldn't make me look too bad. I was trying to remember the last time I was at Harbor Night, and I know it was in the last 6 years. And I'm saying 6 because there was a gentleman trying to sell me a cigar down there. It was around cop match time. I just don't remember what year that was. You know what? No, I do. What year did you and we were at the Birdcage with Jacun?
I won't remember that.
It was the night before cop match. It had to be within the last 3 years, though.
Okay.
I'm just going to put it out there. No one can tell us no.
St. George's lost or didn't have the cop.
Yeah, we know that. So it was after 2011. It was, and you know me, I'm like, I don't want to talk to these guys, Somerset guys, the night before cop match. I'm not interested. Let me go get my corner. But no, in saying that, we can't remember, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, But audience, let us know, when was the last time you experienced Harbor Nights? When was the last time? Well, if you've ever experienced, but let us know. Let us know. When was the last time you experienced Harbor Nights in Bermuda? Let us know when the last time you experienced Harbor Nights in Bermuda. because I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that there's more folks than just Power Girl Patrina that go regularly.
Yeah, I think it's when you look at the videos on social media,
Mhm,
the Gombe are regularly there,
mhm,
or different dancing groups. So
mhm.
you see people that do go. It just doesn't register for me until
Mhm,
afterwards. And I say I'm gonna take my son. I said last year, and I didn't.
mhm.
And I'm hopeful again this year. So
Okay.
when it starts tonight.
Okay. Well, Teo Dill says last season it was cool. The kids and visitors loved it. Okay. My Teo got outside before you and me. What's wrong with us? I mean, Diana Gilbert said last year was last time. Okay. All right. So we've got people that have been consistent. Teo Dill says sorry. Diana Gilbert says it's a nice outing, yet can be costly. Nice to meet people and see locals you don't see often. And Teo says best parts of the Gumbays and the other Gumbays and the live band. The latter is incredibly dope. Yep. Nicole Hassel says I went last summer with my cousins from New York and North Carolina, and I had a great time. Food is always good. Yeah, I love the vendors part. I really love the vendors part. Now let's get to the question now. Like, what are some other Harbor Nights like events that Bermuda should consider to give us a boost? Like, what are some things that I know the BTA had was it a seafood fest and a vegan fest, different things like that. But what are some things where we can boost energy? I am appreciative of Bacardi where they did the Black Vendors Market, but we need some consistency of some things that can keep people going, like once a month or bi-weekly, where you're keeping the community involved. And I know what some of you are thinking, oh well, we ruin things and so on. To me, Harbor Nights has done a great job, even through those times in Bermuda where people felt unsafe to go out. They've done a phenomenal job of keeping people present and going. But what do you think? Like, is there anything that we don't do that you might consider that we can do on a monthly basis? It doesn't have to be weekly, because remember, Harbor Nights is seasonal, right?
Yeah.
It's weekly for the season, but is there something we can do monthly that can really attract us, families, friends? Because, and I keep saying us because it has to start with the locals.
Yeah.
To attract non-locals, right?
Yeah.
So what are some things that we can do in Bermuda throughout the year that are Harbor Nights like events that can boost our economy?
I think like mass book clubs possibly, and maybe board game / card community events. Those are the two things that kind of stuck out to me. Clashing during the summer makes it different. You obviously want an outdoor event just to get people there, bring the family and different types of things. And some may say, oh, well, this person already does that or whatever. But I don't think it's geared towards the community and community more wellness events. I think that's something that we can kind of look at versus one-off type situations. And that would be nice to see. Again, it might not be profit making, but it still benefits the community.
Yeah. And see, I'm glad you said that last part. It might not be profit making. There's a business called Facebook. And I remember reading about Facebook that they didn't make money. Zuckerberg wasn't interested in making money. He was interested in making a product that people would be interested in. Once he was able to do that, he was able to monetize it, right? So the idea is to really create something special that may not make money now, but in the long term, it has the opportunity or potential to be. Just want to go to Instagram. So what are some Harbor Night like events that we should consider throughout the year to boost Bermuda? And we've got, this is an interesting one. Someone, Keelan_FR says beach movies, like movies on the beach. I know someone was doing that at one point, but that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool one. And you mentioned games. Same person said Monopoly, right? I have a local Monopoly like game. So I love those ideas. What else, audience? What are you thinking? Teodil says video game tournament, board card game competitions, and regular MC battles. Props due for beating me to one of my suggestions, Larry. I think that was the board games. What else, audience? Come on, you're an intelligent audience. These are our brainstorming sessions where we hope that the Department of Culture and other departments and even private entities take these ideas and create something special for our community.
And even if it's at different venues at different times, like one we're
Yeah.
doing in the West End and the next one in the Central,
Mhm.
just to kind of bring it together. And again, you bring other vendors in around that can kind of
Mhm.
help, more of the family festival
Mhm.
atmosphere rather than it goes indoors where it's a bar and that type of situation.
Correct. I love that. I think I love this. I think that sometimes, no matter where you go, we are our own worst enemy. And I'm not speaking about Bermuda and Bermudians, right? But if you look across social media, you see the amount of unhappy Americans with the state of their country. Regardless, there's always going to be people who are not happy with where, I know Jamaicans, oh, this country, this government, this and that. It's so easy to see the things that you don't like. But the potential, and I know they're having the red tape consultation right now, but some of the ideas that you and Teo just gave don't even require government involvement where there's red tape to have a games night.
The only thing I think that will require government involvement, and I wish someone somewhere within the higher ups, whoever it may be, I don't know if this job even exists, is to sit down with a master calendar so events are not clashing. And some things are gonna have to be good on the same time, but major ones we should kind of be able to avoid.
I don't mind that though. That's the way of the world. I don't mind that simply because if the Miami Heat are playing on the same day as the Florida Panthers, both events go. That's a double boost for the economy. It's really about
Do we have enough
It's
numbers?
it's like how airplanes overbook. Like the idea is, this is business. Somebody may not show up, or you're giving people more options, or it's. I think when it comes to events, no one has a reason to say that famous quote. There's nothing to do in Bermuda.
Okay.
I get your point, but I just probably am on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to the audience again. Audience, what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are some things that we can do on a regular basis? Some Harbor Night-like events that can keep people's interest and boost Bermuda. We've got Charles H. Jeffers II. He says, one idea you lot's premier had was a Friday night fish fry and swizzle parties at Admiralty House. I'm pretty sure I can go back through WhatsApp messages but okay, I'll leave it alone. I think that would be great for vendors as well as locals and visitors. Yeah, the fish fry is something that became popular in Turks and Caicos. It was something the locals did, and the tourists just caught on. It was huge. Swizzle parties, rum fest, different things. Like there are a number of things that can be done to get people together. Sean Smith says, do they still do the farmer market? Good question. You know anything, Larry?
I know when COVID came, it kind of eased off. However, I'm not in that space, I will admit. But the last time I went was pre-COVID-ish, so I don't remember.
Okay. Scavenger hunts, Dana Gilbert says. Maya Palacio says, farmers markets. I was having a conversation yesterday that I felt like the Ag Show should have a dedicated room for farmers, businesses to sell their local produce. That would be pretty cool, Maya. I like that. Shikarena says, a weekly evening barbecue at Fort Hamilton. They have this at a fort in Antigua, and it is so popular. Lots of grills and vendors. I love that idea. You know what? In South Florida, they have the fairgrounds. So they have the state fair at the beginning of the year, and then it's used for other things. I just saw something that was being used for, but they just have so many different events throughout the year at the fairgrounds. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And creating opportunities for vendors is literally giving them an opportunity to sell and make their money.
Yeah, I think the idea of mini festivals coming around is definitely just beneficial, and it's maybe not enough. You have we got cake fest if we want. We can do so many different things. We just need, I guess, the planning, the organization, and the assistance. You know what I mean? We don't want anyone trying to put this thing on and then in debt over it, or they're barely breaking even, or the time they're just fluid afterwards and don't want to put it on, then that's not helpful.
Exactly. And I said many years ago, because they have a chowder fest in Newport, Rhode Island, one of my favorite places. And I said, why doesn't Bermuda have a chowder fest? Everyone's chowder tastes different. Some it's darker brown, some is red. Chowder fest, some simple like that. So every month should be a fest. Like every month, a lobster fest. Every month we can tie it. Someone said themes, cassava fest, the best cassava and farine buys. Like there's so many different ideas. Again, some will take more money than others. But I think Harbor Nights should be looked at as something that sets the standard. Like, what can we do that aligns with this, that can help boost us and bring us together?
Yeah. And lastly, like so many came around food, right? So I guess people like to eat. They bend out, they want to go. But one that we can look at is it's quite gross to me is the hot dog eating competition. We can try it.
It's a good idea. It is gross. That's that July 4th, the U.S. Independence Day. What's it? Joey something always wins it.
I don't know. I can't look. I don't know nothing. It's gross.
Yeah, Joey somebody. All right, let's go through these last few comments, then bring Taylor Dillon. Charles H. Jefferson II says BTA should be the keeper of that master calendar. Diana Gilbert said fish fries are costly, but make good money in return. Taylor Dill says cooking classes for Bermudian staples run by aunties, grannies, mamas, daddies, because they make the best food. I like that. A local thing, Sheikah says, Renee Simmons says, Sheikah, I was thinking the same thing, Fort St. Catherine, but could alternate. Fort Hamilton, Fort St. Catherine, different forts throughout Bermuda. I love that. Dana Gilbert says Florida has food truck house. Yeah, we do down in South Florida. We have a lot of that stuff. Dana Gilbert also says the famous fish cake contest. I love that. Dale Butler, don't mess with him. I think he'll tell you his are the best. Charles H. Jefferson II says they have a farmer's market at Botanical Gardens on Saturdays. Renee Simmons says even at the unfinished church in St. George's, possibly having the barbecue. And then Sean Smith says weekly lionfish cook-off during the summer. This will help the reefs. I love it. These are all great ideas. Let's hope somebody is tuned in who can help us produce and make a difference. Let's bring Taylor Dillon for the Daily Hour News Break. Don't forget, we've got Terry Fray coming up after the news break with, we're talking about the Fray Star Cricket Academy. So do not go anywhere. Stick with us.
Morning, Sam. Morning, Larry. Morning, Jay. I'm so grateful for this conversation because that thing that phrase you shared that everybody has said at some point or another, there's nothing to do in Bermuda, has always frustrated me because it's not true. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean there couldn't be more good things to do in Bermuda. And the reason I know there's always something going on is particularly for families. Like there's so many events for kids on a at least a couple a month, which is good, but that's not really what we're talking about because family are the only people that matter. That are deserving of community engagement and stuff. So it should be stuff that goes a bit broader than that, and the audience and us. We share some really good stuff.
Mike's going in and out. It sounds like too.
It is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, it's this has been a really productive conversation. I'm grateful.
No, indeed. And Tay, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Folks, if Teo is going Harbor Night, you have no excuse. You have no excuse. Teo, I'm gonna make him feel uncomfortable. Teo remind me of Michael Jackson. Get on that stage, he'll give you the best show of your life. Like, don't try talking. Mike just wants to go home afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be inspired and get out there to Harbor Night. Because if Teo's not Larry, we gotta go to Harbor Night this summer.
I got pressure now.
Yeah.
I am a natural introvert. I can't front. Jay knows that's what it is. I'm not even ashamed at this point. I know myself. I know what I need.
There you go.
All right.
Real quickly. I just want to. I have to stop forgetting about Instagram, but we got quite a few on Instagram. Gary Moreno says, given the cosmopolitan makeup of Bermuda, he suggested monthly food festivals, which again, Larry, a lot of things seems to be around food. So Yeah, I think a lot of people's ideas around food, which is interesting, but I thought, yeah, looking at monthly stuff rather than weekly stuff could be helpful.
Yeah. I mean, because putting together events of consequence and that are like going to be run well and efficient and genuinely, effectively thought out, get them done on a weekly basis, that's a whole other thing. But monthly, that you can pull off.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, what you got for us today, bro?
Well, just to underline the thing that we've been talking about so far this morning, Harbor Nights is back as of this evening from 7 to 10 p.m. The Chamber of Commerce announced the return of this staple of our cultural calendar, marking the commencement of an exciting season of cultural celebration and this year environmental awareness. Tonight's event is sponsored by KBB and the Department of Culture, while Senator Owen Darrell, Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport, shared that this partnership embodies the essence of community spirit, environmental stewardship, and the vibrant energy of our cultural heritage. In other news, and this is really cool, the 2 new fast ferries that are coming to the island have had their keel laying ceremony completed. This basically means the start of their construction has been formally recognized. And as you can see from these design illustrations, the new ferries are looking pretty snazzy. Both of the fast ferries are 40 meters long and can carry 550 passengers, and they're intended to replace the J.E. Cecil Smith and War Baby Fox ferries. Transport Minister Wayne Furbert explained that the $19.5 million purchase is worth the investment due to the new vessel's advanced features and increased capacity, signifying a substantial investment in maritime infrastructure and a promise to revolutionize the commuting experience. The ferries are expected to be in service within the next year and a half.
When Maya shared that yesterday, the first thing I thought of was people on bikes, because I haven't caught a ferry in years. That's all I asked. Are they going to have space for people on bikes? And shared a picture where it showed that there, space in the front. But what I saw, it still didn't look like enough space for the bikes. So my question is, do people still take bikes on ferries like they used to?
Yeah. That's a good question, because that's what will make it practically possible for a larger chunk of the community to actually use these things. Because if you can't get your bike on the boat, that means you can't get to the boat. So, yeah, no, that's a really good question.
Designated parking up in the areas where the boats leave. I think that they need to try and find somewhere around there. The dockyard is definitely spaced there.
Okay.
Right on. Well, in really good news, congratulations and shout out to Lindo's for raising over $25,000 for the Bermuda Diabetes Association via the 2024 Lindo's to Lindo's Race Walk, as captured here by our friends at Bermuda. Now, the donation is particularly fitting since this is the 25th annual iteration of the competitive 10K run, 4-mile competitive walk, and 4-mile fun run walk. Hundreds of participants made their way from Lindo's in Warwick to Lindo's in Devonshire. And BDA Executive Director Lori Rockhead shared her thanks to Lindo's for their quarter-century of support, saying that the funds raised will, quote, significantly impact our efforts to prevent diabetes and support people living with diabetes in Bermuda. This is a big deal because, as we know, Bermuda is at the higher end of the frequency of diabetes. Like, you're more likely to have diabetes in Bermuda than you are if you live in the States, Canada, UK, yada, yada, yada. So the work that they do is essential, and shout out to Lindo's for supporting them. Now, this is a really interesting one that I was kind of surprised about. That is to say, a story about basically a monopoly that had a rough financial year due to factors beyond their control. What I'm saying is last year's disproportionately heavy rainfall cut Watlington Waterworks piped water sales, by just about 5%. Now, this comes from Watlington's end-of-year director's report, which explained that 2023 gave us the heaviest rainfall recorded since 1902, 77.37 inches, which caused a 20 million gallon drop in their annual piped water sales. This means Watlington's net earnings fell from about $2.3 million to just under $2 million even. And that is completely, like, it makes sense because last year was really, really wet. But I never thought about the impact it would have.
I thought about it. I was like, yeah, people walking around talking about, oh yeah, saving money, don't have to buy water. Well, hey, look, if somebody gets laid off, or you saw how the water truck drivers were impacted, then somebody's always gonna. At the end of the day, someone will always suffer when somebody's celebrating. It's like sport. There has to be. There's gonna be a winner. Gonna be a loser.
That's the nature of like a market economy.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that's a good point, Jay. Now, to sort of wrap things up on a positive note for us, but a really negative note for a lot of other people, due to the genius of our ancestors who came up with the roof rainfall catchment system, we have largely been able here in Bermuda to avoid the kind of water insecurity that continues to plague communities around the world, including the Amazon, which experienced the worst drought in recorded history last year.
Thousands of villages have been cut off by this drought. Over 100,000 people. But scientists are worried that this is an indication of something even more catastrophic, an ecological disaster. And there are signs. In 2 major lakes, dolphins have been turning up dead.
And what happened this year is something that we've never seen before. Nobody's been seen before. It's unprecedented.
Now, I would strongly encourage everybody to do a little Google about this today, because I had no idea that the Amazon, which is consistently under more pressure from economic forces than any other region on the planet, right? Because they're trying to cut down them trees with the horrible clear cutting methods. But if the Amazon is not healthy, our planet will not be able to breathe in the way we need to. Like, it is the chief source of Earth's oxygen, because it's got all those trees down there, right? So the more the Amazon takes a hit, the worse everything is going to be on a climate level. So, yeah, Google it. It's terrifying. Now, as far as weather is concerned, you're probably going to need your rain gear today. Low pressure system is passing nearby the island, which will dump some showers and wind on us this afternoon and shouldn't let up for most of tomorrow. And once we reach Friday evening, that low will be far enough away to allow conditions to settle back down to typical early summer stuff. But, take your umbrella today. You're probably going to need it.
All righty. Larry, what you got in the days of the year for us?
Today is International Family Day. Shout out to your family.
All right, International Family Day. I'm not going to do it to you all by telling us your favorite member of your family, but I have something. Yeah, I ain't going to get you in trouble. I have something to share. So remember yesterday I told you all it was my pops' 70th birthday, right? I'm going to show you something. Real quickly.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! You thought I was gonna miss your birthday?
That's what he does when he wants to cry. He just laughs.
Aww. It's your birthday, you man. Aww.
Take your hand on so I can see your turn.
I wasn't gonna miss your birthday, Daddy. Aww.
Aww.
I just want to say,
you guys, you got my made out of bridge like that.
I just want to say, I had nothing to do. I spoke to my dad about 3 times yesterday, right? And laughed. Like, you knew to. Why you gotta put me in this? That was all my sisters, man. I mean, I maybe knew something, but I have a short memory, right? But I was happy my sister went back, surprised him, and he had a great birthday. But hey, man, cool moments.
That is a beautiful thing, bro.
And I'm gonna say this one last thing. He gonna suck his teeth, but that dude's so hard to surprise because he's nosy. He'd be like, ask questions and so on. So I was like, all I kept saying, you got gut. He got gut. So I was so happy. Yeah, man. Happy birthday again, Pops.
let me ask y'all both this. Like, as you've gotten older, do you feel like your dads have become a more emotionally expressive?
Yes. Yes.
Like, son.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
It's something else. Like, I've seen my daddy cry happy tears more in the past like 5 years than the preceding 6, my life, like 40. It's something else.
Yeah. He definitely Yeah, you get the emotions out of them as they got
Yeah,
older.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think it's finally because they put all their burdens down. Like, I'm retired. I'm chilling. I'm just me. I can feel things and I can share things in a way that I wasn't able to before. But I tell you, getting your dad to cry happy tears is one of them things that you want to put on that list of accomplishments. Like, it's so satisfying.
I mean, depending on what kind of child you are, you definitely want those happy tears because, boy, after the pain you put them through. I mean, not me, but just people like Taylor and Larry probably.
No, Jay, do you think anybody believed what you just said?
Taylor, you got a guest coming up. We'll see you later.
I appreciate y'all. Take care.
All right, folks, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like if you've appreciated the conversation so far. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 24 seconds with our guest for the day, Terry Fray. We're talking all things cricket. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
It took 14 days to build your business plan. 6 months to build the courage to leave your day job. 3 weeks to find the perfect location. It took 10 days to outfit your space just right. And 1 day before your first client walked in the door. All totaled, it took you a full year to get your business operational. And this is just the beginning. To the entrepreneurs, the risk takers, the people that shape our economic community, we salute you and are here for you every step of the way. BEDC, providing knowledgeable, progressive, professional, and innovative support to Bermuda businesses.
Noah's Ark, the largest and most trusted pet supply store for almost 30 years. Not only have you watched us grow, but we've grown together, keeping the needs of your pets first, offering advice and giving back to the community. Shop online, choose delivery, or visit us in Devonshire. And with the Egg Show in view, we will continue our yearly support and help you find everything you need for one of Bermuda's most favorite community events. See you soon.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Larry Marshall Jr., myself, Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. We are a bit behind, but you know what we do? We make up time. Let's bring in our guest for the day. We have Terry Fray from the Fray Star Cricket Institute. We're talking all things cricket. Let's give him a warm TDH welcome. Greetings, sir. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
We're good. We're good. We're good. You know, we I think Larry and I are both excited for this conversation. We're both cricket people. Well, I mean, as far as enjoying the sport, not necessarily me playing it, but you get my point. We love the idea of cricket, so we're excited about this conversation. Larry has spoken about this often as a former teacher, like
that's right,
and so on. So we want to help get cricket back to where it was something that children wanted to go outside and play all day when the summer months came. But for the audience, just tell the audience a bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Okay, so firstly, I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank the Daily Hour, the opportunity to come on your program and discuss Fray Star Cricket Institute and also cricket in Bermuda in general. So I'd like to just thank you for that. Well, about myself, I have a deep pedigree of cricket in my family. Um, all my uncles on my mother's side played cricket. The great Alfred Fleas Hall, to name one, Sydney Cowboy Hall, another. And then, of course, my older brothers were quite prominent in cricket here during their era. And then, of course, I came through a little bit later because I was a lot younger than my older brothers. And then, of course, my son, Taryn, who's a present-day player, a current player for Bermuda as well, here locally, domestically. So there is a lot of cricket in my blood. I came from a disciplined environment. My father was a soldier during the Second World War, and I sort of took his footsteps and made the military in the former Bermuda Regiment a career. And I retired in 1998 as the Regimental Sergeant Major. That was probably the grounds of my disciplinary background in terms of being organized and getting things done. So concurrent to that, I was always involved in cricket. You know, I played for Southampton Rangers, Warwick Workmen's Club, and I finished my career at Devonshire Rack. My older brothers played for Devonshire Rack, so it was just fitting for me to finish up my career at Devonshire Rack. So during my time at Southampton Rangers, I played with some great players, and I was privileged to play with the likes of Sheridan Rayner, Alden Rayner, Lee Rayner, Quentin Sherlock, John Tucker, Brinky Tucker, Colin Blades. So, you know, I was fortunate. And throughout that experience, I had no other choice but to perform well most of the time. You know, you as sportsmen, you go through those ups and downs. But because I had those experienced players around me, it helped me to develop my game and be able to compete against, you know, most of all the great bowlers, because I was a batsman, you know, so, you know, I was able to deal with that a lot better because I had people around me that would guide me in that moment, you know. And then, of course, you know, I thank Sheridan Rayner, God bless his soul, because Sheridan was a left-hander and I was a left-hander. And Sheridan worked with me many hours down at Rangers in that corner net, working on my technique and pointing out the finer things about batsmanship, you know. And, you know, I had that opportunity. So as I was moving forward, you know, I was involved with the under-19 national program, you know, with the cricket board. In actual fact, I directed that program. And of course, I had coaches that worked under me, namely Cleveley Wade, Andre Manders, Arnold Manders. And then, of course, we were able to put together a program and was successful in preparing under 19 team that went to the World Cup in 2007, I think it was. You know, so that was the first and only time that the under 19s actually played a part in an under 19 World Cup. So, you know, with that experience, and then of course moving up, I also managed the senior national team on many occasions, and was able to have a first-hand feel and look at where our players are and where they need to go, and also more importantly, what it takes to get them there.
So with that foundation, it's incredible because I think giving the audience an idea of the foundation that has led us to where we are, where, you know, what is Fray Star Cricket Institute and where did the idea come from based on that?
Okay, so the idea has been in the background for probably about 3 years now. You know, because I took a back seat in coaching and being involved in cricket, mainly because of the number of business opportunities I had. So I had to put that on the back burner and build my businesses. And then, of course, I decided, once I was out there, I was following cricket on a Sunday, and obviously, I'll get around and watch Bayless Bay because my son plays for Bayless Bay. And then, of course, you're having an opportunity to see other teams. And, the younger players, I just felt that they were a bit below par, in their skill development, the mental aspect of the game, which is important, very, very important. And then, and when I start looking at that and I'm saying, well, a little bit behind the ball game here, where we should be. So, this thought process over the last 3 years really came to light at the end of last cricket season, and I was able to have a personal conversation with Gus Logie, who I'll speak more about a little bit later. And I just ran this idea about him, and I told him that, I was really, really concerned about how lack of advancement we have in our young players and our development. I think it's time for us to do something. So I passed this idea over to him. He gave it a thought, and he came back to me and said, look, there's no better time than to do this now. So from there, we, put together a coaching team, and we had a series of meetings, and we came up with Fray Star Cricket Institute, and what our mandate would be,
Nice.
Okay. So what's your vision for Fray Star Cricket Institute, and how you plan to align it with the athletes and the community?
Right. So our vision at Fray Star Institute is to be the premier youth cricket coaching program here in Bermuda, offering accessible, high quality, and meticulously structured coaching that cultivates a love for the game and sets the standards for excellence. That is our vision.
Yeah, and that's important, because if you don't have love for the sport, then they're just gonna show up and, okay, mama, I did it and whatnot. But I often talk about, with development, you have to have fun. So I'm pleased that you said that.
Absolutely.
How will you assess and monitor the progress and performance of the athletes within Fray Star Cricket Institute?
Right. Okay. So firstly, the basis for that is the actual coaching staff that we have, and the quality of coaching staff that Fray Star Cricket Institute has at their disposal. So we have people like who's Augustin Logie. We have Taryn Frey, who's my son, Samuel Robinson, Cooley Durham, Crazy James, Marcus Scotland, and Jared Richardson, along with Keto Robinson, who will be coming on and assisting us with the life skills of the program. So when you look at the coaching and the quality of those individuals, we've put together assessment sheets that each player has, and that's all been strategically put together. And we are then closely monitoring our players, and the coaches will be obviously, recording whatever information and data that they need, so that they can assess and review together, so that we can come up with a plan to go, as we go forward in the progress for our development of our young players. So that's how we are doing it. We've just started. This is our second week now, right? And we are in that assessment phase in terms of the skill levels.
Yeah, I just want to give props real quickly to the coaches, because I'm sure you don't have to follow cricket to know all of them, but knowing all of them, I think these young people are in very good hands. So congratulations on putting together a quality group of people. And audience, if you have any questions or comments for Mr. Frey, please send them through. We'll get through as many questions as possible. Go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
Yeah, and no, to piggyback on that, it's impressive, to talk about the assessment piece, because often we have these trainings or gatherings and get-togethers, and we may see some shortfalls, we may see some things that are great, but it's not recorded and we don't know. And you know, I've had many conversations with your son about these types of things. So I'm happy that we're able to implement it, because you know, this can be a guide for other sports to then say, you know what, we need to come in and do these things. So good on that.
Thank you.
But one of the harder things that happens in any sport is dealing with parents. How do you plan to engage with parents and guardians to keep them informed and involved in the child's development? Because you know we like the result, but at this age that you're targeting is about development, right?
Yes. So if the most important thing for the parents is that, you know, it is an investment in the child. You know, the parents know that. We have actually got the parents as partners in our program. So they're invited to come at any time at our training sessions and be able to have a look at, you know, what the children are doing. Mind you, know, we do have a specific area where they have to remain. They're not allowed to enter the training ground, but there is a specific area that we have for the parents, and they can come by and have a look at what is going on in terms of how we're conducting the program, right? So with that saying, you know, we with the experience of Debbie, who is our administrator, who is actually done an excellent job with putting all the administrative stuff together here in this program. She has an app that is called Stack Team app, and any information that needs to be put out to the parents through the program, she uses this app. Every parent that has a child that has been enrolled in Fray Star Cricket have this app. So the communication lines is key in our program, very, very much so. So we use this app as a vital tool to get that information out there and communicate it to them. One of the things that we have got is like a contract that was signed by the parents, which is basically our rules and regulations that has been issued to the parents, and we, you know, it has to be set down. They have to sit down with the child and go over this rules and regulations contract and sign it. Both of them, the parents sign it and the young player signs it, and then I will sign off on it as a complete document. So that's how we strategically go about keeping the parents informed.
I absolutely love that. Like it's almost it's very much what they tell you when you're a young salesperson. They're like, you know what? Before you go to that meeting, you better have all the answers to their objections when you enter that door. And you guys have done an incredible job of laying it out. And honestly, you had no idea what we were going to ask you, so it's impressive. I'm grateful that it's not something that just seemed to have popped up, but it's something that's well planned out. Credit to your team.
Yes, thank you. Like I said, it's been many meetings, many hours collectively by all the coaches, including Debbie, and you know, and we sat around the table. Boy, I guess it got to be where it was almost every other week we were getting together. But you know, the beauty part about the program is that was put together by former international players.
Nice.
Also, you know, with the vital input of Gus Logie, who we all know played at the very highest level that anyone can play internationally. So you know, and then of course he is a very established coach. You know, so his input was vital in terms of how we were doing and putting together this package, you know, because through his consultancy, you know, we were able to do that, you know, with the inclusion of everybody else that's in the team.
Yeah. All right, audience, we'll go to the audience real quickly. Again, if you have any questions or comments for Mr. Fray, send them through now. We've got Diana Gilbert says, "Morning, cousin Terry." She said she's got a question. She's asking, can a child still sign up? Because it has already started. And then then she asked, what are the ages for them to be able to sign up?
Sure. Yeah. We are accepting them. You know, we're not turning them back or turning them down. We don't want to leave no child behind. You know, so it's open. It's open. You know, they come in, we have a conversation with them, and if they want to take it to the next level, then we give them all the relevant information that they need to enroll the child. In reference to the age groups, we take them from the age of 8 right along up to the age of 17. And between those two ages, there's 3 age groups. So the youngest age group is 8 to 10s, the middle age group is 11 to 14s, and the higher group is 15 to 17s. Boys and girls. Matter of fact, we have 2 girls that's enrolled in our program.
Awesome.
Alrighty. We've got Malika Fatia says, proud of you, Uncle Terry. No, this is exciting. This is exciting. And, you know, as I said before you came on earlier, cricket for me is the sport that brought Bermudians together more than any other. And even if it's just because it's a longer period of time, it's a gentleman's game, right? It brings us together, and I'm happy something like this does exist, because I remember maybe last year or year before, Larry and I were talking on this show, and I made the statement asking, do we still have cricket camps that they used to have back in the day? And the majority of the audience was saying, not like we used to. So this right here is, you know, we speak about business, and Craig Simmons, economist, says it often, you know, business is about solving people's problems. You said that you were at Bayless Bay last year, you saw a problem, you guys creating a solution to fix it. It's that simple. And it doesn't necessarily have to be business. It could be a community. You saw an issue in a sport that you love, and you created something that you want to help to fix it. But for those who want to learn more, where can they go to learn more about Fray Star Cricket Institute?
Yeah, so but all over the media. They could also contact us by email at fraystarcricketbba@gmail.com. We are on Facebook and Instagram, which will have all that relevant information on there for them to make the first line of contact.
All right.
Awesome.
One last question we have from the audience. Renee Simmons asking, she attended the Under-19 Cricket World Cup in Malaysia in 2008 and Singapore. My godson, Pierre Smith, was part of the team. Awesome event. Do you foresee a World Cup being held here in Bermuda?
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. But I think what is important is that, you know, everyone that's involved in cricket here in Bermuda just needs to make sure that, you know, we are able to get the standard of cricket up to par here in Bermuda, so that we can compete. You know, we're not doing that very well right now, and it's because of the lack of development holistically in our young people, so that, you know, they roll out when they're ready at senior cricket. Because, you know, I mentioned to you earlier about the mental side of the game. You know, that's very, very important. But the mental side of the game starts at, you know, a very young age, you know. So, you know, we just need to make sure that our players are up to par to compete. But also, more importantly, when you look at World Cups is about standards, you know, not just with the players, but with the facilities, you know. So we got to make sure that we have the infrastructure here in Bermuda in place to be able to facilitate that. That's very, very important, because without good facilities, then you really are restricted at providing that event. And also, you know, when you look at lack of good facilities, field conditions and all that, that also hinders the development of our young players as well. So it's a situation where everybody has to come together. All the playmakers with cricket has to come together and come up with a plan, so that we could take Bermuda cricket forward, both on and off the field.
Well said.
Indeed. Mr. Fray, thank you so much for reaching out. What I don't want you, Fray Star Cricket Institute to do is be a stranger. Like if there's anything going on where we can have our news team out capturing some things to make sure that people remain aware of what's going on and how you're growing and making an impact, please just reach out to us, send us an email. Email is probably the best. Social media, I'm not sure how we connect on that, but just reach out to us and we'd be happy to come out and get some content and keep sharing it and keeping it front and center, because I think it's personal with us as well. We want to see Bermuda continue to develop not just cricketers, but good young people. That's how I look at it. Cricket is one of the most disciplined sports. To be able to stand out in the sun all day, every day. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you to your team. And we look forward to continuing this relationship.
Yes, thank you very much. Just in closing, right? You had made mention about, staying abreast. So we invite everybody to Soldiers, anybody that's interested in what we're doing, to come to Soldiers on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 6 and 7:30 in the evening, and have a look. We also like to invite any parents that are sitting on the fence and not sure whether or not they want that child to be a part of it. Then they're welcome to come, have a look. And I will most likely be available to have a discussion with them. I did that last week. So, I invite everybody to come and have a look at our program.
Open invitation, folks.
Yes, open, most definitely. But in saying that, I thank you, you gentlemen, for having me on. It's been great. And we look forward to galvanizing Bermuda through cricket.
There you go. Thank you so much. Thanks to you and your team, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Terry Fray, again, if you appreciated that conversation this morning, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your friends, family, colleagues. A young person, send them out there. See if it's something that aligns with them. Even not, they may grow to like it. We just don't know. It's something that can be very fun. Grateful to them for doing that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back to the Daily Play, wrap it up. If you get the answer before Larry, you'll be eligible for this week's prize. You'll join, I believe it's Rosalind and Diana Gilbert. All right, so stick with us. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions exasperated by market volatility, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At Friesenbrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal and cost-effective risk management cover. Therefore, we deliver a full suite of competitive insurance products to protect your business. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our broking services.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear. You can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. It is the Daily Hour, brought to you by the great folks at BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy. I just want to once again send a big thanks to Terry Fray from the Fray Star Cricket Institute for the conversation this morning. Again, folks, if you haven't already, let's fight the algorithms. Give us a thumbs up, a like, a love. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. These things are helpful. Cricket plays an integral role in our community, not just for athletes, but just for young people to learn different valuable life lessons. So let's galvanize, get some support behind the work that they are doing. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. I just heard last night that one of the local companies purchased they purchased all 5 editions yesterday. So it is in stores. All right, folks, you can send an email to contact@Bermuda Trivia if you'd like to know what stores you can purchase each of the 5 editions. All right. It's music today, Larry. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. This is an easy question. If he don't get this before you, audience, give it to him. All right. What is the actor and rapper who's known as Ice Cube? What is his real name?
Oh, Ice Cube. Chris Jackson. Yeah, or his name is Ice Cube. He was Googling right now, so I whatever.
No one knows Ice Cube's real name without Googling? All right, Stacey Ann Brown, first one up. O'Shea Jackson. Well, I think it's O'Shea Jackson Sr. because his son's a junior, but O'Shea Jackson. Rosalind Famous has Walter something. He does look like a Walter, though. When he had that drip back in the day, he definitely looked like a Walter.
Cube, one of the best to do it.
Yeah, he was, man. All right, so Stacey Ann got it. Let's give it to Stacey.
Go Googling, Stacey.
See what he's accusing you of? The accusations. Tell him we can't prove it, but congratulations to you. O'Shea Jackson. Yeah, O'Shea Jackson. I wonder how he got the nickname Ice Cube. Maybe I'll Google that. Where'd that come from? But let's wrap it up, Larry. Obviously, we talked about events like Harbor Night, like events we can consider to boost Bermuda, and then the conversation with Mr. Fray. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I think the consensus with the audience and everyone who made a comment was some sort of food-like festival, and whatever it is, I think we'd like to see some consistency where it's just a safe space for the community to come and get together and fellowship in some sort of way over an activity, right? Fray Star Cricket Institute, I love everything about it. I especially appreciate the approach they are taking as far as we're not just showing up and trying to house your kids and do some activities. It's strategic as far as really working on development, and I think that's something that is missing a lot in sports. We want to get our children together and let them have play, and I think play definitely has a role, but really working on the developmental piece within a sport is important, and I'm happy they're checking that off.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, just echoing what you said, it seemed like a lot of things as far as events were around food, but there's opportunities to do things around those foods. While you're having these events, it could be performances, live band, right? It could be comedic performances. I know Sumner was doing a tour around Bermuda's clubs doing comedy and stuff like that. There's so many people that can be included in these events, display different artists and their work. I think Bermuda has, enough people who do good work that we can celebrate and highlight on a regular basis at festivals and events. If we can do it on the daily hour, we can do it throughout our community. As far as the conversation with Mr. Fray, again, I think cricket is a big part of our history. It can almost, and I'm not going to do it, but, some people may say when cricket fell off in terms of young people development, young people became more restless in the streets. I'm not saying it's the direct correlation, but I think cricket plays a major role in the development of young people, period. The lessons that come with it, it's discipline. It takes discipline, right? So I'm grateful that this exists, but my hope is that we, the community, support it to make sure that it exists next year, the year after, and the year after that. So congratulations to Mr. Fray and his entire team. Larry, do you have some daily inspiration for us?
I do. And this is from Pakistani former cricket bowler Shoaib Akhtar. In cricket, as in life, you need to believe in yourself and have confidence in your abilities.
There you go. I mean, if you don't believe in you, who will, right?
Yep.
All right, folks, do us a favor. If you haven't already, make sure you give us a love, a like, a thumbs up. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making this part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Larry Marshall Jr. I am Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and the great day. VR is out. Peace.